Hey guys and girls, and welcome to a brand new series where I dive into my personal gaming history and share stories with you about certain standout moments. And today, we're going to be looking at Tekken 3. Tekken 3 was released in March 1997 on Namco's System 12 arcade board, which was an improvement on the PlayStation-based System 11 board. It was later converted to the PlayStation in March 1998 in Japan, and then September 1998 in Europe. It is a major improvement over Tekken 2, with speed and fluidity being two major changes to the game, with jumping now being nerfed to be a bit more realistic, and the new sidestep feature which everybody now has as opposed to Kazuya in Tekken 2. Now, I can remember getting proper excited about Tekken 3 by reading Games Master magazine primarily, and I think it used to cover, if I remember rightly, it covered the arcade version first, and I'd already played Tekkens 1 and 2 at the time. With Tekken 1, how did I play that? If I remember right, I think I first started playing Tekken 1 on a HMV demo pod. And I used to actually use Jack at the time because, big burly guy, big, powerful, I can win those matches easily. Well, at least that was the theory I was going with, and I think I played Tekken 1 a few more times around a friend's house, and that was pretty much it. With Tekken 2, I seem to recall playing that quite a lot at our local indie video game shop, which unfortunately isn't there anymore. It used to have 4 demo pods at the front of the shop, and I can remember Tekken 2 being one of the on one of the screens, and I played a lot of that, and I seem to recall playing a lot as Julia at that point. Not Julia, excuse me, Michelle. And what was the reason I used to play as Michelle? Because of her double punch that she aims in the middle part of the opponent, and I used to think, okay, yep, that's good. That's a powerful attack, and that'll keep the my opponent away. Because once again, I'm looking for ways to win matches easily. And I can remember Tekken 2 being the first game that I got with my PlayStation 1, or at least it was one of the first games anyway. And a friend of mine, he got his PS1 and Tekken 2 as well, and we would often challenge each other on that. And I can remember going from Julia to Armor King, because at that point, yeah, it must have been around that point, I was slowly getting back into WWF, and I thought, I'll try out Armor King, because Armor King, he's like, he's got armor on, spikes and everything, and he looks so much better than just King on his own. So yeah, I thought I'd go with Armor King, but time passed, and I realised that Armor King in Tekken 2, he wasn't as good as King. So I moved on to King, and he's actually been my main ever since.
KO. You win.
So time would pass, and I actually found out that my local comic book shop, which again, that particular comic book shop is no longer there. I found out that they had a couple of copies of Tekken 3, the Japanese version. I can't remember if it just come out in Japan or if it'd been a little while afterwards, but yeah, it only just come out in Japan at that point, so I was really excited about it. It's like, ooh, Tekken 3, and I can remember going into the shop actually and just take the case off the shelf, and I'd look at it and I'd be like, wow, it's Tekken 3, oh my god. But I couldn't actually play it because I, unfortunately, only had a PAL PS1, so no natural way of playing that. That was until I discovered the disc swap technique. I can actually remember because the disc swap technique with the PlayStation, the version of PlayStation I had, that involved you doing a lot of bloody changeovers, but it was a very exciting time, and I got to practice with it with two demo discs, and of course the discs would load anyway regardless of what ones you put in. Basically it was to practice me taking out the discs at certain times, and I can actually remember the actual first time that I actually managed to get Tekken 3 booted up. I was so happy. In fact, here's a total reconstruction of that event.
come on, come on, come on. Ooh. Ooh, now, okay, alright, come on, stop, come on, come on, come on, come on, yes!
I was just like amazed that I was suddenly able to do this. Of course, if I wanted to play Tekken 3, I'd have to do it all the time, which didn't really bother me until the spindle broke on my PS1, which meant I kind of had to try and hold this, hold the discs in with a blob of blue tack. But it was just the end of the road for the CD drive. So yeah, I had to get myself a new PS1 at the time. But it was a lot of fun though. What was it? Originally I had to play Tekken 3 in black and white because my TV at the time, it didn't have a SCART socket or anything like that. It just had a simple RF connector. Although I did buy a converter box, an NTSC 2 PAL converter box, but it overheated and it just burnt out within a month. It was of course at this moment that I started to figure out the difference in speed between PAL and NTSC, or rather unoptimized PAL and just NTSC on its own, or arcade speed as I called it back in the day, because I think I played a couple of arcade machines at that point, I think, and I noticed that there was quite the speed difference between the arcade machines, the NTSC home conversions and the PAL versions, so I was a little disappointed about that. And of course when I got hold of Tekken 3, you know, friends and I, we would regularly play Tekken 3, especially like on sleepovers over the weekend. We would have like little mini tournaments and everything, but of course I was that guy that had the game, played the game, so I was inevitably better than everyone else. So I had to try. It was either I completely wiped them away with my king, or I just sort of like played as other people just to give everyone else a fighting chance, shall we say. Then of course the PAL version was on its way to Europe, and for some reason I was really looking forward to it, even though I knew it was going to be inferior to the NTSC version, but that didn't stop me from going down to Game and pre-ordering myself one. More money than sense, I reckon. It's funny how some things don't change. So anyway, yeah, I bought myself the PAL copy, and it was pretty much based on this demo here. That came with official PlayStation magazine. It actually came with it was actually a standalone demo with a really nice black case, but that black case is long gone. But I still managed to get hold of the disc, and for what it was worth, the demo was alright. And actually, now I think about it, it was likely from that demo that I knew that the PAL version was going to be inferior to the NTSC version, but I still bought a copy anyway. And yeah, I played it for a while, and the speed difference was noticeable. So I played it to completion, and I pretty much never played it again. In fact, I don't think I've seen it in the last God knows how long. I pretty much lost my PAL version, and I haven't played it since. That was until the PlayStation Mini came out, and of course that's got the PAL version of Tekken 3 on it. But you know, for the most part, I pretty much stayed away from the PAL version and just continued playing the NTSC version, or the PAL 60 version, which is on Tekken 5. I do have one more major memory in regards to Tekken 3, and that was a tournament that Game had held. I assume it was nationwide. Yeah, it was a tournament where I think you could win your very own Tekken 3 arcade machine. What it consisted of, you had to play as Hwoarang, and you had to beat the first 3 stages in the fastest time possible. I kind of didn't really like that rule because I very rarely played as Hwoarang at the time, and being restricted to one character means, well, you gotta practice a lot with that one character, but you know, if you don't know that character, you don't know, you know, how fast you can beat the stages. So the rule was revised. I assume people complained about it, but the rule was revised, and you could use anyone you want. So I gave it some thought, and I thought to myself, Jin is the one for me. So I developed a system where I could drain the opponent's energy quickly, but without knocking them to the floor, because if you knock them to the floor, you're going to have to wait for them to get up again, and that's just going to waste time. So I developed a quick punch and kick routine, and I pretty much got it down to, I think it was 53 seconds when I entered for the tournament, and I pretty much stayed in first place throughout the majority of the day. And then this one person came up, he gave it a go, and he chose Yoshimitsu. And there is one move that Yoshimitsu can do which completely destroys your opponent in like seconds.
Round 1. Fight. Round 2. Fight. You win.
Yeah, he completely obliterated my record, so I was bumped down to second. And there was a lot of people came by, and they got really close, but they couldn't knock me off the top spot until this geezer came on. And yeah, this tournament actually took place over the weekend, if I recall. And yeah, each winner of each store, I think they then went on to participate in a further competition in London, where they could then win their arcade machine. I think that's what it was anyway. I tried to search the internet for this tournament, this competition, but there is, unless I'm not looking in the right places, and I dug really deep, I cannot find anything on the internet in regards to this competition. So I know for a fact I didn't dream it. This competition happened, but yeah, I came by the following day, I think it was obviously Sunday, and I asked, you know, how am I doing? Where's my position? I was in fourth. There's like 2 other people came along and beat my record. I don't know if they used Yoshimitsu or not, if they were just good enough to beat me anyway, but yeah, it was the top 3, if I remember rightly, yeah, the top 3 competitors, they went off to compete for this arcade machine. So yeah, 4th position, that's like first, last. I was gutted, but you know, I was still quite pleased with my performance. So yeah guys, that's pretty much my personal history with Tekken 3, or at least from back in the day. So thank you all very much for watching. If this is something that you'd like to see regularly, then just pop a comment in the comment section below, obviously. And if you guys got any personal experience with Tekken 3, I most certainly hope so. I would actually like to hear about it as well. So yeah, until next time guys, thanks for watching and take care of yourselves. Bye bye.